In my 2 months here in Thailand, I've stayed in Chiang Mai, which has been my favorite. I've stayed in Bangkok and I've stayed in Pattaya. So today I wanted to compare the three cities so we can find which one may be the best for you. Bangkok is just chaos. That's the best way I can describe it. Get all of the pros and cons of being in a big city. For example, you're gonna see a very big foreigner population because a lot of people who are flying into the country will normally fly through Bangkok. Being a foreigner there is just not that big of a deal. You're gonna have some of the best restaurants, some of the best shopping centers in the world. Anything that you want to find, you're going to be able to find in Bangkok. There are a lot of really cool things to see. I would say like the Grand Palace, the Leaning Buddha. There's a lot of history in Bangkok. Here in Chiang Mai, there are a few places where you can do some really cool shopping, but nothing compares to Bangkok. Bangkok is easily the best, the highest quality for cheap prices, and they have some of the nicest malls and infrastructure out of the whole entire country. When it comes to public transportation, such as like the metro and everything, Bangkok is really the only city that has that. Man, the traffic in Bangkok all the time is horrendous, especially at night. It's just insane. You just walk into the city, and for me personally, I just feel immediate stress. I hate being in very chaotic situations like that. I find that in Bangkok it is very hard to meet people, just like any other big city in the world. You can go to hostels and meet travelers, but trying to meet other digital nomads, and because Bangkok is so big, you can meet somebody on an app, but maybe they live like 20, 30, 40 minutes away. These are just kind of the struggles that you have living in the big city. Just size-wise, the population of Bangkok, it is ginormous and you feel it. As soon as you're in Bangkok, it is just non-stop city, 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 buildings everywhere. A lot of people like big cities like that, but it is personally not my scene. I would also say that it is the most expensive when it comes to everyday stuff. You can find some cheap rent a little bit outside of the more popular areas, but you're gonna be paying more for food, some of the restaurants, obviously your boat and your transportation, and deliveries are gonna be more expensive because it is a bigger city. Also keep in mind the amount of smog that the city has. Thailand already is a very humid country just because it's so congested. As soon as you walk into the city, you can feel it. It's just like the mugginess. It feels like there are like no rules in Bangkok anywhere. And even though it is relatively safe, because Thailand in general is just a very safe country, Bangkok is just the most intense. However, it is the most flexible, and especially if you're looking to travel overseas, most things go through Bangkok. Bangkok also has two airports, Dom Yong and then the one that starts with an S. So the one that starts with an S is where most people are going to fly into, but make sure that if you're flying into Bangkok or out of Bangkok, double check the airports, because that is a very common mistake that a lot of people make. Thai people in general are very, very friendly. I would say the people in Bangkok are kind of like a hit and miss. Some of the people that I met there were fairly rude, but for the most part, people were very nice, considering that it was a big capital city. I actually found the rudest people to be in Pattaya, but I'll talk about that later. And I think Bangkok just has the most things to do out of all the other cities. Even though Bangkok doesn't have a beach in the city, anything that you want to do, restaurants, nightlife, concerts, sports, like any capital city, you're going to be able to find everything you want in Bangkok. Pattaya surprised me a lot because I didn't really know what to expect going there. I just heard that it was like the red light district of Thailand. And as soon as I went into the city, you 100% feel it. It gave me very similar vibes to how it was in Medellin, only with a beach. It's just weird walking around the city and just seeing a bunch of like older white dudes with these younger Thai girls. To each their own, but I personally don't like being in an environment like that because it just gives a weird vibe in the air and it attracts the wrong kind of people that I normally don't like hanging out with. Pattaya is still fairly underdeveloped in a lot of ways. There are some really nice hotels and then some nice buildings that are being built compared to some of the other beach cities that I've seen in the world. For example, like Panama City, which is extremely developed. I would say Pattaya is still very underdeveloped. And you're gonna notice in the city, especially in the touristy areas, which doesn't make sense to me, there's so much construction going on in the city. Talking to my friends who have lived there for many years, they have told me that it's been like this forever. As much as I love this country, it's one of the less developed Asian countries. As chill and relaxed as the people are, you can kind of see that reflected in the culture as well. Because it receives a lot of tourists every single year, you're gonna have a lot of really good international restaurants. Surprisingly, there's a lot of Indian and Middle Eastern food everywhere in the city. And I've had some of the best Indian food I've ever had in Pattaya. You're gonna notice that the population is pretty much white dudes, usually from the UK, Indians or Middle Eastern people, but mostly Indians, and then Asian people from all over Asia. So when people are trying to date Thai women, you'll usually just see like white people dating the Thai people like that. From what I saw, like the other races, I'm sure they went there to party and stuff, but they're not actually trying to date the Thai girls. It was just an observation that I made. Like all the go-go dancers, the working girls, the bars and everything are very concentrated over a few streets in Pattaya. So you have the walking street, which is probably the most popular one, but just all around that area is filled with this kind of environment. If you're looking for a party, Pattaya is the place to do it. It's cool that it is very close to Bangkok and it is small, I mean, compared to some of the other cities in Thailand. And if you go outside of that main area, you're gonna notice that it just feels like any regular Thai city, honestly. It just kind of felt very similar to Chiang Mai, but especially in the tourist areas, there are scams everywhere, people looking to take advantage of foreigners. And I just found that like people in Pattaya just were not nice at all. The nicest people in Thailand that I've met are in Chiang Mai, and they are notorious for that because Chiang Mai is the safest, where the people are the friendliest, and is cheaper than all the other places. So, you know, I'll talk about that later. Pattaya has a few beaches, and the beaches are pretty cool, but you also have access to a couple of islands. Like Koh Lam is the one that I went to with a friend, and the ferry ride was only 30 baht, which is less than $1, and then to get some beach chairs was like 100 baht, and it was nice. It was really relaxing. There are things to do in Pattaya, but to me it just seemed a little too chill. It reminded me a lot of the vibe of Las Vegas, especially outside of the main areas, because you have the walking street in that area, which is kind of like the strip of Vegas, and then you have a lot of people living in the suburbs. There are also a lot of really cool shopping areas here, you know, from the local flea market kind of stuff to nice shopping malls. I would say that out of the whole entire country, I have found the most beautiful women in Pattaya. However, it does seem that most of these beautiful women are working girls. A lot of women from all over the country go to Pattaya trying to get involved in that industry, so I would be careful with that. So there are a lot of things that I love about Chiang Mai. The reason why I picked this city initially was because of the population size. Chiang Mai as a city is only like 40 square kilometers. Everything is just smaller, more peaceful. There are things to do, but it's just a more chill lifestyle. Now that I've been here for like a month and a half, I have favorite areas that I like going to, my favorite restaurants. I kind of have a routine here. And I felt like it was a lot easier to establish that here in Chiang Mai compared to a place like Bangkok. The traffic can get a little intense sometimes here in Chiang Mai, but it's not to the level of Pattaya or Bangkok at all. I love the people in Chiang Mai. The people here are nice, they're very friendly. Chiang Mai is well known for being one of the safest areas in Thailand, if not the safest city in Thailand. When I came from the airport, I left my fanny pack in the Uber, and I called him and he was at a doctor's appointment, but he returned my fanny pack to me like 4 hours later. Nothing was touched, nothing was stolen, and I obviously tipped him and stuff, but that's just how the people here are in Chiang Mai. It's just amazing hospitality. People are so friendly, and I love being in an environment like that. For me, the perfect city is like you have all the city amenities while it being like a smaller city having a smaller population. When I was in Colombia, I lived in a city with a population of 500,000 people. For me, that was perfect because it felt small enough where I was able to get to know my neighbors and know all of the people that came to my restaurant. It was still developed enough where I can get the modern city lifestyle. I would say that Chiang Mai is a stoner's paradise because you can find weed here fairly affordable. You can find good, cheap food everywhere. You get really, really good Asian food here. I haven't found like a really good Indian restaurant yet. Not as common as a place like Pattaya. And then you have all the street food scenes. There are so many areas where you can go and they're like street night food markets. It is also the cheapest of the three cities. Because Chiang Mai isn't as tourist heavy as some of the other cities yet, you're still gonna get pretty affordable prices here. I've noticed that there is a growing expat and digital nomad community here as well. I'm in some of the Facebook groups. I have not gone to any of the meetups. Chiang Mai is also very close to cities like Pai or Chiang Rai if you're looking to visit that. Pai is just super, super chill, low key. Get an apartment here for a week or so and then use it as your hub as you travel through the other places. My first time in Chiang Mai, I felt like the women here weren't super, super attractive, but this second time, I've been seeing some beautiful women here and there. And I don't know if they're Thai or they're foreign, but there have been stunners here and there. Maybe it's just like an exposure thing, right? Finding them more attractive over time. Each city has their own pluses and minuses. I know people that live in Pattaya that love it. I know people that live in Bangkok and love it, but it really just depends on what you're looking for. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you guys like this content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.